My name is Gerry Patnode. I am from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and I am a writer of historical fiction, and cursed with the inevitable question, what if we change some things around? So I'm going to read for you my latest and first novel in this area called The Sterling Defense. And it's about a young lawyer who dared defend a black man in the age of the Civil War in the United States. So I'm going to take you a little bit in his journey and what he is facing. Archibald arrives at his law office. Joshua Barton, his law partner and best friend since elementary school, meets him at the door. "Hear you had a bit of excitement over in your way this morning." "Boy, that news traveled fast," said Archibald. "Well, we happen to share the same paper boy," laughs Josh. "Kind of brutal, was it?" "You might say that. It wasn't something I wanted to see. I certainly didn't want Edward to witness that. He doesn't need to see how brutal this world can be." "Boys have to understand the world, Archie. It's just the way things are. For Christ's sake, the boy's turning 18. He's a man. Start treating him like one." "You know they're going to hang those poor black bastards," says Josh, his eyes lifting, conjuring up a thought, a memory. "You know, you should take him to the hanging." "Why would I do that?" said Archie. "Because that's the world. You know, I was just finally remembering when my pop took me to the first darky hanging. It was quite an event. Organ grinder with a monkey, food vendors, lots of beer, root beer for the kids. Hell, I probably wasn't much more than 12 or 13. I seem to remember telling you about it at school." "Psh, I'm sure I blocked it out," said Archie. "And then remember old Mr. Webster. You remember him as a kid, don't you, Archie? He had that candy store over by the Lexington Market. He brought half his inventory to give the kids that day. It was almost as much fun as when we were stealing pies off of Mrs. Wilkinson's windowsill after she baked them. I seem to remember more about the woodshed trips after those trips," says Archie, with a bit of a chuckle. "I think I'll pass on the hanging if you don't mind," says Archie. "I don't think watching men die is entertainment." "Oh yeah, but they're just darkies," says Josh. The mere thought of watching men, black or white, dance at the end of a rope twist Archibald's gut. He takes a deep breath. "Why in the name of Jesus were they hauling Negroes through my street this early Monday morning?" Josh pours a cup of coffee. "Need some, Arch?" Archie shakes his head no. "Anyway," Josh continues, "I hear from the paper boy that they got those boys in last night and it's too late to take them into the jail. So they just took them over to the animal pens at the Lexington Market and we just kept them there until this morning. You know, come to think of it, we probably owe an apology to those pigs. Well, they certainly looked a sorry mess this morning," says Arch. "Well, black folk usually look that way before we hang them," says Josh with another barrel laugh. "Well, I hope to get a fair trial," said Archie. "Can't have things looking like we're some redneck lynching party." "Sure," says Josh, with a trace of sarcasm and a wink. At that point, Archibald contemplates telling him the truth, that one of those black men are his maid Elsie's son. He's going to help her find an appropriate lawyer. He asks Josh, "You happen to know any black criminal defense lawyers?" "Hell no." "What's the point?" "Well, I was just thinking that those men are going to need good lawyers, and I don't have a clue who they could get." "Well, Archie, I want to give you a hint. It ain't us."